take these stupid things around me. They look like fucking some Star Wars thing. All right, get ready because this does only goes for 16 seconds.
And then we're on.
Yeah.
It's DrumTalk. You're listening to DrumTalk.
All right, guys, and welcome to Drum Talk Radio. My name is Pino Bertolini, and next to me I've got a good-looking fella. I know, nice and tan. Look at him; he's just shining and glowing, and pretty cool. Which is our Enzo Failla. How are you, mate?
I'm great.
Actually, you can come a bit closer, mate. Come on, I don't bite, mate. You know, I know you want to sit back and relax and chill. And
here we go. Is that
we
better?
kind of need you in front of that microphone.
No, we're all good. A week on the Sunshine Coast will do that to you, Pino.
It does, doesn't it?
Bit of sun, it's great.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, mate.
Oh, it's okay, mate. It's finally. Well, we've been talking about
We have.
We've talked about it for a while.
Yep, the check finally cleared, and I'm here.
The check finally cleared. I like that one. That's a first. But it's kind of funny. It's just, we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, guys. But it kind of like it took you resigning drums to get on the show. So, but we're definitely going to talk about. Actually, I'm going to fix that camera angle. I think it's because like we might have to center a little bit. And
no, I'm good.
You're good.
See me?
Actually, as long as you're good, that's the main thing.
Matters.
Actually, it's actually a new HD camera. So. It's actually you're the first we're using it on.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, I had to get a model and all that stuff to sort of push that stuff around.
You got to test it on something.
Yeah, definitely.
You might as well go straight to the top.
Exactly, which is kind of cool. But like I said, guys, we've got Enzo Failla with us, and we're going to be chatting about many things. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm an open book.
No, you're an open book. Yeah.
Yeah.
No limits.
No limits. Well, there could be some limits, but.
Which is kind of cool. But what I was going to say is I just lost my frame of thought there for a minute. But let's go to, like, I know you kind of stopped playing drums a little bit and you want to relax, and I think it's just family time.
Yeah, that's the main reason. Actually, my last gig was Saturday just gone.
Yeah.
Decided just to just focus more on family time and stuff like that. But the playing side of it won't stop. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I think drumming, once it's
in your blood,
it's in your blood. It's never going to leave. So I've been playing since I was 7 years old and loved it. And I've loved every time I get behind the kit, and I will continue to do that. It's just, for a period of time, I've been thinking about, just getting my weekends back without having to worry about, getting home at, say, 3 o'clock and packing the car up and taking off to a gig, as much as I love hanging out and playing with all the guys that, we've worked with over the years, and I've made, lifelong friendships with these people, and that'll continue to be the case. But, just from the playing side of things, kind of wind it up a bit. And you never say never. A lot of people are expecting my John Farnham type, tour to continue and stuff like that. But if a job come along and it's the right fit and I feel like doing it, depends who's on it, if Steve Rando's on it, the Rat, there's your first mention.
There's the first mention of the Rat.
I might take it. Otherwise, I might not. But never say never. I'll continue to play, just for the time being. Just
it's good to chill out. I think we all get to a point in stage in our lives where we think, kids are growing up, watching them grow too fast. I mean, it happened to me too. I was 38 when I realised. I'm thinking, I've seen my kids growing too fast, and where have I been? So. It's kind of, brings you back a little bit, and family is important. That's, I've always said it's priority number one. Not with the wife though. The drums was priority number one. I said to
my wife's probably watching this, so I'm not going to get into that.
That's all right. My wife knows, we always say, what was your first love? And I said, the drums. So, mum come second. But
I want to get this on. That's all right. Good go.
Did you get it?
It's all good.
Sorry, did you get that? I need to refresh my page, I think, but we'll work that out. But,
yeah, we'll get that sorted. Yeah, but so we're finally here, though. That's the main thing. I'm here with you, talking. You know, we've had a long-term friendship for a number of years.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been, and that's one thing that, and like we were talking over dinner the other night, is the friendship side of it.
Yeah.
Is what really, for me, is what this industry is all about, and I've played a part in different modes, from the wholesale side of things.
Yeah, of course.
When my time with Yamaha, which I'm sure we'll talk
we'll
about.
talk about Yamaha.
To what I've done, with different bands and different situations, and the people have come across. They shape who you are, and your friendship circles and your networking circles.
Yeah,
they just kind of grow and grow and grow.
You kind of meet some great guys and some great people, and not so great people.
Yeah, well,
you pick and choose.
We can talk about that. But
so
we don't have to.
Did it pop up? Did it pop up finally?
Now we're good.
There you go. How nice do you look on that?
That's it. Now my family can jump in.
Okay.
And throw barbs, mate.
We'll give them time to jump in and have fun with us. Wait till the phone calls come in. Hopefully we get some people calling in.
Yeah, call in.
Which it'd be great.
We'll take donations.
We are taking donations actually, so it's just kind of cool. And like with the drums, like when did you actually start?
So,
actually, let me rephrase that, guys. I've known it's been a while now. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Actually, I took over. You were playing. Was that called New Exchange back then?
Exchange.
Oh, it was Exchange. Yeah. So when I joined, it became New Exchange.
New, mate. It was
just New Exchange.
Turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, we're just turning over. Yeah, definitely a leaf. But you were playing with Exchange for a while, and then you left, and I kind of got the gig, and with Dominic there.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit of an entertainer, that one.
Very much.
And it was kind of funny, and just because we just got back to do a gig on Saturday with the band, and after I haven't played with the band for 7 years, so we got back together just for this gig, and friends of mine, and so it was kind of mentioning about all the drummers. It was just South, and there was a few drummers that went through the band, but and who was it? I think it was Nuncio was saying, well, Nuncio came after you. I think.
I never got to play a gig with Nuns.
No?
No.
Okay, great bass player. So who's the bass? Who was the bass player?
We had Claude Demonari.
Oh, that's right. Claude was on there.
Before that, it was Sam Salerno. Johnny's.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Did he do a stint?
Before then, it was, and we had Marcello Grassi on.
Yeah, Marcello and Phil used to be. That was Harmony, I think.
Yeah. So it was great. You go back and
But that's how I kind of met you, I think.
Yeah, it was through that circle.
Through that circle afterwards, and and we've always kept in touch, which is kind of great.
Yeah.
It's taken me 10 years to get you on the show, but
I know. Well, I'm a hard man to pin down.
I know you're a free man now, so we can get you on the, you're a free man, so we can get you down anytime now. So what are you doing tomorrow night and Wednesday night?
Yeah. I might be busy, but you never know.
So it's kind of good. Oh God, where were we on that?
So the way I started is
that's
when
it.
I was probably 5 or 6, and if my sisters are on, they will attest to this, and they'll probably piss themselves laughing. And my brother, I had a guitar, and my uncles were guitarists, so kind of I was drawn towards that. And the funny thing is, you had one side of my family, I had very young uncles, like my youngest uncle's 50 actually, just turned 50.
Oh, wow.
And, they were always, I grew up on Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. I used to hang out at their place and listen to, the Beatles and Rainbow and all these bands that, would blow my mind. I was listening to Ian Pace. That was probably the first drummer that I ever knew well, and John Bonham and all these rock players, But the guitar was the first instrument I had. But then Kiss came on the scene, and I smashed my guitar on the garage wall. And my mum and dad said, you know what, guitars, this is not your thing, so you need something you can hit. And drums was the thing that I was drawn to.
Oh, right.
So at 7 years old, I started taking lessons, as I mentioned before. Peter Blick was my first teacher.
You copped Peter Blick at the age of 7.
7 years, and now knowing Peter for so long.
I would have given up. After that one.
knowing Pete for so long, and he's such a sweetheart. But his method was now I appreciate it more than ever.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't practice. I was a 7-year-old kid, you know, who, I wanted to play sport and do other stuff. I didn't practice. So I did whatever I had to do to get through the lesson. And Pete's no slouch, and he doesn't suffer fools, and he knew exactly how much work I'd done and how much work I didn't do. So, he sacked me when I was about maybe 8 or 9.
He sacked you.
He told my dad, you know what?
So, but you got 2 years out of him.
I got a couple of years out of him. Yeah, I think it could have been a couple of years. I can't remember. It was quite a while ago. But the crux of it was that, he said, "You listen, to my old man, you're wasting your money and you're wasting my time. I've got a wait list, so I think it's better that we part ways."
How long ago is that now? If you could just recollect a little bit.
Well, I'm 43, so yeah, there you go. So what's that?
Was that Billy Hyde's?
Billy Hyde's, in Multan Street, down in the basement.
Yeah, down in the basement. Yeah.
And so after that, I said, okay, do I still want to play drums? And look, credit to my dad, he still wanted me to do something, a curricular activity outside of school that meant there was discipline. You had to sit down, you had to practice, and then I got onto Phil Brooks through a family connection, and he taught me for quite a few years. Yeah. And then I got to a point where I was kind of playing okay. I thought I was playing okay, but it was always a passion. I used to love listening to to different drummers, but there was, like, whenever I went to see other players play, there was something missing in my playing. And I thought, okay, I've got to find this. I've got to seek this out. I don't know what it is, but these guys are playing so well that I've been playing for quite a few years, and I'm just not sounding the same. Yeah. So.
And how old were you when you were working this one out?
I was in my late teens by this stage. Okay. Yeah. So I was in uni. I remember going to drum lessons, because I was playing footy. I've always been a sporty bloke as well. So, I played footy, and I remember going to drum lesson, with a busted ankle, and that used to happen a bit.
Tape it up.
But then I got to a point where I was playing in my first band, which was Night in Paris.
Oh, okay.
And they're the reception band. So that's the scene that I cut my teeth in. And Jack Pantaza's come in and filled in with the band. Yeah. Now, so I knew Jack before, I knew Jerry, and I started to, Jack came on the scene, and he was just blew my mind the way he was playing.
Great player, yeah.
And we, over dinners, we'd talk about music and different influences, and I'd go away and buy whatever Jack said, listen to this guy, and buy the CD and sit down and listen to it. I go, wow, this is amazing stuff. And then, so I got to speaking to Jack and speaking to Jerry, I got to meet him, and we started talking about, teachers and influences and whatnot. And so Jack said, look, Jerry's learned off Peter Blick. Yep. And I go, oh, geez, that was my first drum teacher.
No, don't send me back to Peter.
Yeah. So, and then like a few, it may have been weeks or in the same month, I was rehearsing in a room. It may have been frontline or GM, like we were discussing earlier. And there was a guy shredding in the other room. I go, wow, listen to what this guy's doing. So I poked my head in. I mean, big ballsy to do, you wouldn't necessarily do that, but I wait for him to stop at least. And it was Anthony Scaffidi, who I knew.
Oh, Mr. Scaff.
So Scaff was just tearing it up in this other room, and I knew Scaff from his days working at Billy Hyde's at the time. And he mentioned Peter Blick. So in a matter of weeks, Peter Blick came back up in conversations.
Oh,
and I remember I was 19 at the time. And I thought, I'm just going to give.
So you actually called him back?
I called him back, and I mustered up the courage to call Pete back.
I would have loved to see how that conversation would have gone.
It was great, and I mentioned my name, and I said, it's been 12 years since you've seen me. He goes, yeah, I remember you. You were like 7 or 8 years old, short, fat Italian kid, never practiced, and I think I sacked you. Okay, yeah, that's exactly
the
right.
Same guy. Let me check my blacklist book. No, you're not on the blacklist. It's okay.
So I went back to Peter. He changed my drumming world. Yeah. And at the time, I had actually deferred a year of uni because I went to uni study economics. Okay. Deferred a year to get my drumming up to a point where I wanted to eventually audition to either Box Hill or VCA. So that was that year, that was the plan. Yeah. And from lesson one, it was just total dedication with Peter. And I think, it was testament, firstly, for him to take me back.
Yeah, of course.
But secondly, I had to prove that I had the work ethic to get my skills up to where they needed to be, and it was really, doing stuff at crotchet equals 40, with these paradiddle patterns, and it was all with him. It was all about being like technically sound, but also getting to a point where all music, it sounds cliche, but music is the thing that kind of takes priority.
Yeah, of course.
So yes, I studied with Blicky for another year or so, and unfortunately, we lost my father that year. So it was a really tough time in my life as well.
Yeah, of course.
And my dad's wish was always, finish school. I don't care what you do. You can play drums till the day you die. I don't care.
Just have something under the belt.
Old school, but I'm so grateful, for doing that. And so I went back to uni, finished my degree, but all the way through,
you're still playing.
Yeah, that's when things started to take off musically for me as well.
Oh, wow.
So my playing got to a good standard. I started getting recommended for gigs, off the back of working with Jack, obviously. But then, people like The Rat came along. There's two.
For those guys.
If you're listening.
Yeah, The Rat. The Rat.
Rat.
Why do you call him The Rat? I went out to say?
It's another show.
It's another show. It's a whole other show.
It's a whole other institution unto himself. So,
I think, well, we might have to get Steve Rando on the guitar show. On the guitar show.
You know what? Yeah, get him.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
So people like that, and I've just seen Will's, name appear there. I may have done a gig with Will. I don't know. And again, then you say to yourself, well, it all becomes, about preparation and being prepared for every situation. And I don't know if you've seen those YouTube clips, Game Breakers or whatever they are.
Yeah, yes.
There's a Weckl one. And, things like that.
The game changing.
You just need to be prepared. Now, my career's not at that level, but for what I've achieved, I couldn't be, prouder for the gigs that I've had. And it's all back on the back of, I believe, is just being prepared for everything. So that 1 year in sitting down and practicing for 6 to 8 hours a day changed my whole world in terms of the gigs that I was able to achieve from that point.
I mean, I always tell this to the younger. Okay, we'll who's put that on the music channel? Hey Enzo, how did you deal with guitarists that push time?
Will.
That's Will.
What I do with Will is I put like a bridle. A horse bridle on him, and I've got.
Pull him back.
I just run him back. Now we've just got this eye thing. When he decides he wants to go off, it's like, well, we're playing, back here. You're already at the B section. We're halfway through the A section here.
You got to love that stuff. Will does get excited. He does. He gets excited. Which is kind of funny. I was saying before, like you're doing, you got serious and you're doing your 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I mean, kids today find that unheard of. Like, what? Yep. Did you have a life? No. There was no PlayStation. But, I always say, though, you only get out what you put in.
Yeah, totally.
It's a definitely, if you put in, you always get the benefits out of it at the end of it.
It's amazing when you get to a point where things start coming together.
Yeah.
And how gratifying that is.
Yeah.
And it's not an overnight thing. It's not just
of course not.
That happens.
No.
It happens because...
It's also perseverance too,
I watch my daughter dance now, and she's been at it for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's finally coming together. And she now is putting more effort.
Because she's seeing the benefits out of it.
She sees the benefits. She sees the results. She sees the feedback
that's
she gets.
For results.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she gets the feedback from her teachers, and it just shows now. It's like, okay, now I know that if I do this extra work, this is what's going to come.
And the other thing I was going to ask was back to the game changer thing. Did you ever see the Kenny Aronoff one? How he talks about.
I may have seen that one. I'm not sure.
How he was playing with refresh. Who did he play with?
Oh, John Cougar.
John Cougar, yeah. And his game changer was talking about how he got fired with the band And then they got sessions in to do the gig, and he just stood there. He goes, "Oh, I don't want to be paid."
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and that's perseverance and believing in himself. Yeah.
The best one I've seen is the Jeff Beccaro.
We got a call.
Hey.
Headphones on, mate. Hello, Drum Talk Radio.
Yo,
Hello.
just a big fan of Enzo Failla here. We want to know when his next gig is going to be.
Mr. Cottrell, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for calling in.
We want to know when you're performing next. Your next gig.
There you go. What are you performing next, mate?
It's to be advised.
Yeah, no problem.
But you were the first person I call, man.
Excellent. All right, we look forward to it. We're big fans out here, and look forward to Enzo's next gig.
Thanks, Steve.
See you guys.
Thank you.
See.
Who is that?
That's Steve. Hang on, are we on with this?
No, that's all right.
Yeah, Steve's a very, very good man, very good friend.
Yeah.
And yeah, great. Thanks for calling in, man. That's
Cool.
fantastic.
That's nice. And we got your sister saying, "That's my bro." Your sister Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Hey, Lizzie, where is she? Where's that one?
She put it over there.
Yeah, there she is. Lizzie. Yeah, we all went away to Sunshine Coast.
Oh, did you go for your sisters? Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, there was about 5 families.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a big wog. Autumn holiday, I should say.
Oh, right. So you did the big soprano thing, yeah?
Awesome. It's just
Awesome.
highly recommended.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. You look fresh, man, and and so forth. But how did it feel? Because I remember the feeling too. But when you did your last gig,
it's funny because I thought it was going to be. It was kind of strange and kind of not, because I, resigned to the fact that, I'm winding this up. So there was a number of, and you all, we were on the tour with me, right? So I was posting photos and everyone was saying, yeah, right, you're retired, whatever. But then, I had to clarify that it was April 6th. It wasn't, I wasn't doing comeback shows already. So, but the last gig was really strange. And it was one of the best gigs I've ever done. Playing wise, everything was brilliant. The guys I was with were fantastic, and it was a really good gig,
Yeah.
But it was gratifying because again, a lot of the gigs that I have been doing lately, particularly with the Baker Boys, have been very, very dear friends of mine, and we enjoy the hang as much as the playing and the entertaining,
Yeah.
So it all kind of come together, and it was great. And they always are. I mean, we've played our fair share of
of course, yes,
shit gigs. And the funny thing is, when with I know I've given you 3 shout outs, Rat, but the gigs we've done with
we can't think of how many shout outs.
Xavier, we were with Xavier and the Hum, and we toured and supported Killing Heidi at their height.
Oh, really? Wow.
So when they released Polyester, we're on the road with them doing gigs.
Yeah.
And they were the worst paying gigs I've ever done.
Yeah.
You would think that, you're on tour and you're starting to get some street cred.
Really?
It's like, we even have to wait till they went through the rider at the end of the gig before we went through and took what we wanted, So
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's a big learning curve.
It's all smoke and mirrors, that's what I call it.
And you learn a little bit from every gig.
Yeah, of course
That's what I found is I learned from every single gig that I do.
You always do. You always learn something with your gigs. And I remember when I finished up playing, it was with Dom's band. It was my last gig with them. And, it was a good gig, but the whole band was relieved that I was leaving. I think they're going, thank Christ he's gone, especially Dominic, because I was just being a hard ass, So, I think if I remember, they even helped me pack up my drums and put it in the car. So like, see you later. It was kind of funny. So I think I was greatly missed, but it was kind of funny. But no, you did a big stint with the Baker Boys, and
so
because that's a big circle thing.
Well, the thing is that after the reception scene, so it's Night in Paris, into Exchange, and then one of the things I always wanted to do was I wanted to achieve certain I call them milestones, throughout my playing career. So the reception scene is where I cut my teeth, and that was great. And then I always wanted to do the pub scene, and an opportunity came up to play with Scat, who when you talk about, and I saw Jeannie, yes, the Sorge is on, the Sorge, and so I got a chance.
Is that before or after Scat?
That was after John Zach.
John Zach, right? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not sure how it came about, but I contacted John and said, listen, I want to audition for the band, and the audition was a live audition on the gig.
Wow!
So it was rock up, and I think it was a bit of a test to see who the hell would rock up to a live gig and play and sit in with the band and see if they wanted the gig, and that was like what I had to do. So I went up there and I played Jesse's Girl. Jesse's Girl.
It was in the bag already then.
Right. So on John's kind of hybrid electro acoustic kit.
Okay.
But that was, again, a learning thing to say, you know what, don't be a princess, just sit there and play.
That's right.
And I think what got me the gig is that I just sat there and played the gig. I played the song as it's supposed to be played. No frills, no chops.
Yeah.
I'm not a choppy player by any stretch. And from there, I learned... but I learned early on too, and Paul Gales, who's a guitarist in that band, took me aside after a gig or two. He goes, you really have to listen to the songs and learn the songs. So anyone can play a groove, but you got to play the songs.
You got to play the songs, of course.
Especially when the audience knows the songs better than you do.
Yeah.
They know the drum licks, they know the guitar riffs, they can sing it to you. You know what I mean? So that, again, you get to a point, you go, okay, this is another book, another page I've got to turn.
Of course, it is, yes.
To learn.
Yeah.
So all these songs I've been learning and bluffing through, it's like, hang on, I've actually got to listen to this.
Yeah.
And one of the big tunes that we did was the Cougar Mellencamp tune, I Need a Lover, but Don't Drive Me Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's called.
Yeah,
I think
I need a lover. No.
That's the one. Yeah, sing.
No, I can't sing.
That's epic. It's got an intro that runs for like 3.5 minutes before you even get to the tune.
Then it's got that big drum fill too,
right,
isn't it?
It's got everything, right?
Yeah.
So I that was another learning. But I just love. Oh, Rat just turned. Mate, I've given you 3 shout-outs, Rat. 3 and you missed
That's
them.
5 now. That's 5. How you going, Steve? Welcome to the show, mate.
So yeah, that kind of focused another kind of thing of learning.
Yeah.
And after that, I got an opportunity to play with Grand Wazoo, which
that's a band that's been around for 100 years.
Yeah. So there was a point in time I was playing with one of the longest standing rock bands.
Yeah.
And a soul band that's been going forever as well.
That's right. Yeah.
And that came about through my friendship and association with Robbie Corelli.
Oh, okay.
So
that's right. Robbie was doing that gig, wasn't he?
Yeah. So my first gig with Grand Wazoo was at the Rainbow, and it was on the afternoon. I got the call the afternoon of the gig.
Yep.
And I said, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for Grand Wazoo, and reading all those charts. So I went down there early.
I still got the charts here.
Oh my God. I went there and I spoke to John. He gives me the book, and I just locked myself. I set the drums up, locked myself away and just went through the charts. I go, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And then.
Sorry, I'm not being rude. Yeah, I'm listening.
You do.
I'm unfortunately not like Will Music, who sits on that seat over there and just doesn't have to do anything. Yeah. I'm still producing and
you do what you do. I'll just talk.
You keep talking.
I'll just go. I've got a lot to say.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, on that gig, what made matters worse is the drums were set up at the front of the band, so it's not. I didn't even have a reference that to lock in with a bass player or a guitarist or any of the horn players because they're all behind me. And I'm just absolutely shit myself. Saying, my God, how am I going to do this? And I think the first song was. It was a Tower Power tune.
That's a good one to just start with. Let's go with this one.
I can't remember the song. It's a slower tune.
Don't pin
something
on me,
like
mate.
the horses in the middle of a stream.
Mate, I'm the last person to talk.
Give it up.
I know what you're talking about.
It's a great tune. It's got a beautiful, real kind of slinky little. It's a straight eighth groove, but it's got this beautiful little thing that Garibaldi does, and it's awesome. And luckily enough, I knew the tune backwards. So I was reading, but also playing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, I think, from there, it was, I got some really good feedback on that gig.
Cool.
And then started playing with the band when Robbie left.
Yep.
So I did that for a period of time. And then my professional career shifted, moved into a management role where I'm currently working. And then, so again, I had to make some adjustments. And then Will got me into Baker Boys after that, but along the way, a lot of fill-ins and a lot of different,
Will, remind me to talk to you about the Baker Boys problems, mate.
Yeah, so
yeah, no, which is good because I know you were playing a lot for the Baker Boys and getting out there, and that's great because the way that works, it kind of you play with different musicians all the time, kind of, isn't it?
You do. It's I'll come back to the Baker Boys, but in between, before that, I got the absolute honour to play with Bjorn again. So that was
That's right. I remember.
So I did Bjorn again, and
how can I forget that to put that?
I did that gig for about 4 years as well.
I remember. Actually, I saw one of your gigs. I saw one of your gigs.
Yeah.
Because then I went to because my wife loves ABBA.
Yeah, yeah. And, was it Palms? Maybe one of the Palm shows.
Oh, don't refresh. Because then I've been going. I know the drummer.
There you go.
And but I didn't get to speak to you.
Did I snub you off because it was like
you were up there?
Yeah.
I go, hey, and you just looked at me and just turned around and just walked out the back. And my wife, actually, I'm going to remind her now. You just reminded me because I go, I know the drummer. She goes, oh man, you know all the drummers, you know.
Yeah.
So I am a drummer, you
know.
know.
And we're in Melbourne.
I remember you doing that. I can't remember where that gig was.
So
anyway,
with that, again, that was another one of those things that I got to play in, my first gig was at State Theatre in Sydney, and again, another situation where you just shit yourself because you go, my God, this is like people have actually come
close to that mic, mate.
You're losing me.
No,
it's my hands. I get in the way.
What is it with drummers? This is true. What is it with drummers and microphones?
We get away. Yeah, we need the headset so we can move on.
It's true. I mean, even Jerry goes over the back there. He goes, oh yeah, I like Jerry. You're a sound guy, man. Actually, we've got him. Sorry, Angelo Marchio.
Ange, hi, buddy.
Got a question there. Does your memory bring you right back to performance you did at high school as part of their variety night?
Absolutely.
I still remember them. The talk of the school for a long time. What was that all about?
So that was year 7. That was my first year in high school.
What school was that?
At St. Joe's in Pascoe Vale, which no longer exists.
No, it's closed down after you left.
Year 7, and I got up there by myself. I still remember I wore a singlet because I thought I'm cool here, and I got up in front of not only the school but
so you did a Vinnie Colaiuta.
Well, it was hardly Vinnie Colaiuta, hardly. And I played a solo, I went in there, and then it was based on the Ted Reed book. So it was based on a lot of syncopated type stuff. And then because I got up there and shit myself and didn't know what the hell I was doing, I just
forgot it.
But I did do a couple of bottom licks, definitely a couple of bottom licks in there. Well, attempted.
You got to put a couple of
and some Ian Pace stuff. Because the Ian Pace solo in The Mule, it's the famous solo where he kind of slows it down and then starts with the single straight rolls and then just the kick drum keep going. And the kick drum on this Dolphin kit kept like flying off the stage, and I'm there trying to play.
He's blaming the equipment already,
But I do remember. Thank you, Ange. Thanks for taking me back, mate.
And the main thing, you kept going, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, always, mate. Always.
You didn't stop and cry. And walk off. I had one of my students do that once, but it was quite interesting. Yeah. Okay,
so Bjorn again, that was fantastic. Then through TMG, the music group, I was playing with another band of theirs called Popcorn and Flashback. So there was a number of offshoot projects that I worked with there.
Cool.
Steve Rando. Yeah, that's a great story. You want to read that question out? Because that's all right,
Steve Rando, the rat. And that's about 10 times already. Sorry, Steve. I don't even know what rat means, man. I'm just copying Enzo. So don't bash me up, mate. Can you ask Tank? Is that what they call you, Tank? Yeah. You're a big solid boy.
We'll get back to that.
Dom talks about that very, very often. Can you ask Hank about the Jesus Christ musical rehearsal with the teacher explaining that he wasn't playing a song in 7/4?
Yeah. So it was actually 7/8 that we were playing in, and I'm in 7/8, and the rest of the band is not finding it difficult, but the conductor actually wasn't feeling what I was playing.
Yeah.
So instead of being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think Steve and I locked eyes, and I may have flung out a profanity. I'm not sure, but I just couldn't understand how the conductor couldn't count in 7/8. Counting in 7/4. And it's like, he wasn't even in 7/4. He was in common time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, oh, this is blowing my mind. So that was very funny. Thank you, Steve. We still talk about that all the time. But how about the time, Steve, when we were playing in a band called Dudes in Space? This is what happens when we start talking. And we start riffing, you start remembering all these situations.
Yeah.
So Steve and I own this band called Dudes in Space. It was a trio. And the guy who ran the band actually bought the rig, White Man Can't Reggae.
Oh, okay.
At the time. So it was a super rig. It was awesome. But the problem is, it was so time intensive for us. We had to get there like hours before the gig to help set the thing up,
right? And
stay hours after it to break it down because there was no crew. So this project we had, again, all the bells and all the promises in the world of being, a great project, which we've all been on over the journey. And I gave the guy a it really wasn't going anywhere. So we said, let's change the format a little bit. Let's go acoustic drums, not electronic drums. Let's try and like get more of a rockier sound because we're not hitting a mark with any audience. Yeah. So we went in and had to learn a bunch of songs, and I kind of gave the guy an ultimatum and said, listen, why don't we just get together and learn 5 new tunes, rehearse them up, and then get something going here because it's just not happening. You're not learning the songs, we're learning our stuff. It's just not happening. So we get 5 minutes into the rehearsal. The singer didn't learn the very first song, which was a Matchbox 20 song. I still remember it. And I just midway through the tune said, I actually probably didn't even say anything. I just packed the drums up and left. And Rando, I think Brad just pissed himself laughing, and he couldn't believe I just did that. So,
good on you, mate.
Well, it's one of those situations where I'm prepared and we really want to like go somewhere with this thing, but if everyone's not on the right page,
no, I agree.
It's not going to work. So.
No, well, that's it. Yeah. Well, we're going to go to a track. We're just going to have a bit of a breather.
Cool.
Quick second.
I hope I'm not boring anyone.
No, you're going great, mate. It's actually quite funny. And we're just going to break into a track. I need to get a drink and get myself settled.
Cool.
With that. But actually, as promised last week, we had Jeremy Alsop on the guitar show last week, and great job, Will. It was fantastic, and it was kind of cool. And we're supposed to play a track off his album, Butterfingers. It wouldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And, I worked it out later. And,
you got to hit play.
No, it's called the mute button. But this mute button was not usually connected to that, but don't know why just last week it was connected to that. And I don't know what I did, so my apologies.
I've got to say hi to Paul Van Ross, Eugene Mollica. I'm going to get back to you. That briefcase full.
And Troy Gretsch's hi, boys,
Troy.
too. Troyza. Great guy. So anyway, as promised, I'm going to play Looking for Jack. We should dedicate this to Jack Pantazis.
Why not?
But it's Jeremy Alsop, obviously. Colin Hayes is on vocals. For you guys don't know Colin Hayes, singer from Men at Work. Love his voice. And the great Chad Wackman on drums. And we're going to talk about Chad with you because you got to mingle.
I did.
When we come back from this, we're going to talk about his stardom, big days, Yamaha boys.
A lot of name dropping.
A lot of names now. Very lot of name dropping. So we'll be back right after this, guys. Please work. Don't give me a heart attack.
Everybody's always looking for Jack in the fire and the water. Everybody's always looking for Jack in the streets and on the corners. I always wanted to be like Jack. He's as cool as they come. Yes, I wanted to be like Jack. Still for me, he's hear the wind blow through the long grass. I hear laughter in the night. No revelations as the years pass. Disappear from sight. As I grow older, I grow younger. Every day is like a dream. I wouldn't go back for a moment, except for maybe 17. Everybody's always looking for Jack in the fire and in the water. Everybody's always looking for Jack in the streets and on the corners. Even Jack, he's always looking for Jack. He's always in another room. And when I spoke to the woman there, she said he left this afternoon.
DrumTalk, the drummer's headquarters. For all your drumming and percussion needs, DrumTalk is the store for you. Hundreds of drum kits on the floor and percussion gear, including huge range of electronic drums and accessories in the electronics room. Looking for that certain drum book? DrumTalk has extensive book library and DVDs and happy to help you find what you're looking for. Also, DrumTalk has Australia's biggest range of cymbals on display, including on-site service centre for any repairs or simply to change skins on your kit. Looking for lessons? DrumTalk has state-of-the-art drumming school upstairs with Australia's most talented drum teachers. So anything drumming, go to DrumTalk, the drummer's headquarters. You can find DrumTalk at 529-535 High Street, Northcote, or online www.drumtech.com.au, or simply call on 03 9482 5550. DrumTalk, the drummer's headquarters.
Hello, this is Chris Coleman, and you're listening to Drum Talk Radio.
All right, welcome back to Drum Talk Radio. I should call it Drum Talk on the Muso channel. I got to get used to that stuff. Ever since I've kicked it off, I'm still trying to get used to all these new changes, and which is kind of cool.
Well, it takes a while,
Yeah, it does take a while.
Anything new?
Oh yeah. Now we've got Enzo Failla with us, guys, as you all know.
Here.
As you all know, he hasn't ran yet, so it's kind of cool. We're kind of digging it. It's kind of cool.
I'm loving it.
Nice little vibe.
This is great. I could come here every week.
And now,
I won't.
come down, mate. You're welcome. And now I gotta tell everyone. I mean, I'm getting this a lot. Everyone about my studio, yeah. It's like everyone thinks it's so big on the camera. And I think
it's huge.
Actually, it's a little bit more perspective now with the new camera, I must admit. And then first thing the people who come into the studio go, oh, not as big as I thought it was, So it's just, man, that's what the budget. That's what the budget
perfect.
Brought. It's nice and cozy.
Picaro on the back there.
There you go.
I mean,
man, we've got the man watching us, so that's about it, isn't it? That's all we need.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get back to your days with Yamaha. Now, you were a rep for Yamaha.
So I was a product manager there.
Product manager.
Yeah.
Oh, were you the product manager? Oh, okay.
So do you want me to go back to the start?
What time is it?
So I was 20. I think I was 26, maybe.
I remember
26,
I remember
27.
you doing that to set up at the AUDW.
Right, and I was very green. I mean, looking back, I mean, I was very, very green. But the Yamaha at the time needed someone who knew something about drums to step into that role and push the product. But it was more about learning. For me, I had a business passion and I had a music passion, and this job brought them both together.
Perfect package.
It was at the time. It was a perfect package, and I remember a friend of mine actually, calling me, telling me, "You've got to go for this job. It's perfect for you."
Yeah.
So I did. I threw my hat in a ring, and I went and interviewed and got the job. And I remember the first question that was asked. It was like, "What do you know about drums?" And I said, "What do you want to know about drums?"
Yeah.
Because I probably know a fair bit more than what you guys do right now. It sounds as though. But so it was so funny because I got into that gig not knowing, really it was a marketing, sales training, procurement. I mean, it was an all-encompassing role, and we made some waves. Like between 2001, 2003 was my time there. We did a lot of things that were unconventional. Did I do them right? I don't know. Some of the things we got wrong. Some of the things we tried.
That's all trial and error, isn't it?
One thing I do know is we put Yamaha back on the map at that point.
Right.
And one of the things I wanted to do was just to understand from a retail point of view why the product wasn't as strong as it could have been. You think globally and you think historically of the players who play the product. Pioneers, Steve Gadd and Roy Haynes and Dave Weckl.
Yep.
And I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I went to NAMM the first year that I worked, and it was people climbing over themselves to get onto the Yamaha artist roster. And I'm thinking, why isn't this happening back home?
Yeah.
And I later found out a lot of it's budgetary. I mean, you just don't have the funds to support, players at that level. But it kind of didn't dissipate my overall aim to put this product back on the market and have it as a significant player in the marketplace in Australia. So the Ultimate Drummers weekend, in actual fact, when I got the job, within a couple of weeks, I was on the road with Ndugu Chancellor, who he's featured in, who
I'll find that.
Sadly passed away. And at the time, I thought, who the hell is Ndugu Chancellor? And then when I did some research, I go, why the hell haven't I heard of this guy? Like I should know so much about this guy.
Ndugu Chancellor. Just get that off the light.
So Ndugu Chancellor was, played with Santana, played on all those classic
just interrupt
records.
you while I'm at it. New drum scene, guys, with David Jones at the front. It's awesome. It's just come out fresh off. You can smell it.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
It smells
new,
fresh.
New May coming out. I don't think it's in the stores yet, but it's check it out. It's a great read. And Ndugu Chancellor, he just passed away.
He did.
There's a tribute of him.
Yeah, late last year, I believe.
But I remember that clinic when was that when he was coming out and just playing and going, show me the money?
Well, the thing with Ndugu is that he played on, I'm pretty sure it was Beat It or Billie Jean. He played on all the Santana records. He was
Billie Jean.
Amazing. And
Beat It was Jeff Becerra.
Yeah. So what his whole thing was playing a groove, and and he set up a little drum kit off to the side of his main kit, just playing normal, just a regular.
Yeah.
He goes $100. $200, $300, and his whole thing was about playing time and doing that.
That's all it mattered.
But within a matter of weeks, and my wife's probably listening to this and laughing or crying, I don't know, crying at the time maybe, but and I was off. It was like I'm living my dream. Here's this
bugger you. I'm going out there. I'm doing it.
No, I never say that. But what an experience. I got to hang with Ndugu Chancellor, but more importantly, Takahashi Hagawara, or Huggy, more commonly known as. He was the pioneer of Yamaha. He put Yamaha on the world map.
Wow.
He basically developed the recording custom series, the Maple custom series, all these icons in drumming circles in terms of drum kits. And the way he went about it is, back in the 70s, Al Foster was the first Yamaha endorsee. And the way he got him on board, well, the story goes, is Huggy went to Manhattan with a bunch of drums, sat in, backstage, set them up for these guys, got them to try these drums, and all of a sudden there's this groundswell about these drums. Wow. And, this explosion.
They get that now, do you?
So I got to hang with him. We did the Ndugu thing, and that opened my eyes to the relationship between the wholesale, the retail, how everything came together and how important.
I must admit, it was a pretty crappy job, I think, because, drums and you get to meet these artists.
It was tough, man.
And there was a bit of a rumor that I heard, and I wasn't invited to this get-together coffee kind of place, but, you and Gad somewhere along the line for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. And if I recall, I think it was Starbucks in Turak.
Absolutely.
How do I know that?
I didn't know this show was going to be controversial. You've just thrown me right in the.
I just threw you right in there. Yeah, that just cuts me out.
So I'll explain this story.
That's a good one.
To those drummers out there who know of a Steve Gadd, will know exactly how amazing this experience was. And it was literally it was a last minute thing, and I was trying to. I was working with Joe Testa, who was the A&R guy in Yamaha Global. I was saying, man, if we can have 5-10 minutes with Steve Gadd, whatever he needs, we'll do whatever.
Sure.
Take sort of thing. So we literally got a call in the I got a call in the afternoon, and it was Steve Gadd himself calling me to say, listen, I'm at the Como. I've got a few minutes spare in the afternoon. Would you like to come and have some coffee? And after I picked the phone up from the floor, I kind of said, absolutely, we'll be there. So it was like, whoa, what do I do? So I called Darren Ferrugia and Jerry Pantazza, said, listen, guys, if you've got a spare couple of minutes, this is the deal.
Yeah.
But it's now or never. And, mate, I think I heard the car take off in the background. So they came down, and we went and spoke to Steve at the Como. We went to Starbucks.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the music that was playing was driving Steve mad.
Yes.
And he actually had them turn it off because he just couldn't handle it. It was that bad.
And he also liked sitting in the sun because he actually swapped seats with Darren Ferrugia.
Man, were you there? Did we have like a camera? There was no cameras there.
My job is to be
fly on the wall.
And
you're the fly on the wall.
The fly on the wall.
You get all the dirt.
Yeah, I do get all the stuff. I mean, I remember you did call me, but I was actually busy then.
Yes, that's right. So then after we left, the funny thing, the hang was great. After we left, we didn't say a word to each other till we got back to the car.
You would have been dumbfounded, like, what happened?
It's like we met God, Sorry to, all the ultra religious people. It's not drums, like meeting God, but
of drums.
You know what I'm trying to say. It was an amazing experience. And that evening, he had organised tickets to the show, and I had Robbie Corelli in the car with me. And Steve again called me, but it was on the phone, on the phone. So I put him on speaker, and Robbie, like, nearly fell out the window because, here is Steve Gadd talking to me, telling me, listen, I've got your tickets, but I can't hang after the show because we got a split and whatever else. So I thought, amazing experience when you meet a hero who just happens to be a great guy. It was just elevated to to another level.
Of course. Did you end up going on the road or anything with Dave at all?
Dave, as in
Dave
Mr.
Weckl?
Weckl?
Yes. Mr. Weckl.
I had another absolute pleasure of touring with Dave Weckl, and that kit when he toured and I was working with him, we set up 3 separate kits, and that's something again that wasn't done previously with Dave. He actually was talking about how things had been difficult in the past for him when he was touring from a product relationship point of view.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to do was again make it easier for him and say that he and his band had a good experience here, and he would say, well, next time we go to Australia and Melbourne, whatever, I'm going to have some pretty good support there. But I've got to thank Frank as well, and he was kind of the guy who said, listen, to make this work, we need 3 kits to be able to fly, one down the East Coast, one to the West, and one to stay in Melbourne for the Ultimate Drums weekend, which we did. So I hung out with Dave in the afternoon. We set his drums up, got his angles and got all these things, because that was going to be my job for the rest of the week, is setting up his drums.
Right.
Not tuning them, thank God, because I couldn't tune them the way he tunes them. But we had a really great week together. There was obviously some times where, stress got the better of us. And if you ever watch that year, that Ultimate Drummers Weekend gig, there's a point in when his crash cymbal just slightly starts to come loose, the boom arm.
Right.
And literally seconds before he went on stage, he goes, Enz, did you tighten everything? Yeah, no, everything's cool.
Oh, no.
So he did not appreciate that.
I can imagine what happened. I mean, that was a little bit different then than now.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but
how did you feel?
Oh man, I sunk. It was like the earth just.
Yeah.
But at the end of the tour, the last gig was at the Corner Hotel, and he thanked me for all the work that I did with that. He gave me. I think he put my name on the next 2 Dave Weckl albums.
Okay.
The band albums, just for thanking.
Nice.
From the product point of view. And they're the things that were amazing. I got to go to NAMM and hung out with, backstage with David Garibaldi and the guys, Steve Jordan, all these guys were just heroes of mine, and I'm rubbing shoulders with them. It was just
you have to pitch yourself a few times, didn't it?
There was we got invited up to the Posty booth.
Yep.
Not the booth, the actual suite.
Right.
Yeah, so Posty cymbals, and so Eric Posty, and I met Abra Boreal Jr. and Kurt Biscara, and countless others. It was amazing.
Man.
Amazing.
That's amazing. It would have been great. Now, with Yamaha, you kind of play Sakai. Sakai, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
I got no idea.
Yeah.
Sakai.
So
how's it spelled?
Sakae.
A-E.
Yeah.
So I'm going for it. Sakai.
You can go Saki.
Sakai. Why can't they put an I at the end and then we get there? Yeah.
Well,
we'll bring that up.
Talk to them about that.
But actually, you could tell people you play Sakai drums.
Yeah.
But you're also getting flack about being such a Yamaha man.
There's a relationship between the two, and the thing is that the Sakai Rhythm Factory in Osaka, Japan, made. They're a small family-owned business who Yamaha subcontracted to make all their top-end drums, and they developed I think as far back as probably the 8000 series, but definitely the Recording Custom, the Maple Custom, and everything that came after that came out of that factory. So they made drums for Yamaha for over 40 years, all their top end, all the top end stuff. So then I'm not sure exactly of the situation, but the manufacturing of the top end stuff shifted from Japan to either China or I think it went to China.
I would have gone to China.
If Jamie's online, he'll be able to explain it. But Sakai then decided, well, we've been making drums for over 80 years. We'll just bring our own stuff out, which they did. So,
I never played one. I've seen them all the time.
They're beautiful drums. The series that I play, the trilogy, they're like built like a Ludwig Legacy series.
Yep.
So it's maple, poplar, maple, 3 plies. Beautiful round tone, warm, very warm sounding.
Yeah, I've actually never hit them.
Yeah, so Robbie Corelli's playing them, and I said,
I remember Robbie Corelli. Yeah, he was probably one of the first to play.
Yeah. So, and he's been there, so I hooked up a trip for him.
Wow.
To go to Sakai and check it out.
Nice.
And again, you just fall in love with the place. I mean, the hospitality of the family. We ate together. We made drums. I've got 2 snare drums at home that I made myself.
Oh, really? Man, you should have brought them in.
They're great. And
they're great to see.
And the serial number's my name, so.
Really?
Yeah. It's special little things that you go, I can't see past playing, anything
That's
else.
Beautiful,
there's a real connection there.
Yeah.
The same with Peisty. I hung out in the factory for a week.
Yeah.
With Eric, Tumas Peisty I got to meet, and Ted Volney, who was the sales and marketing guy at the time. So we went through product. It was amazing. And then I got a chance to make, let's say I attempted to hammer my own cymbal, and it turned out like absolute crap. But they gave it to me and they signed it for me, and there's the connection there. So I love those two.
I mean, one regret I have is when I was playing Sabian and I was invited to the Sabian factory in Canada. They invited me over. They said, "Look, come over. I would love to show you and build your own cymbal, take it home, whatever. Beautiful. Yeah, it'd be nice to have you over." And I never went.
Yeah.
And I kick myself every day about that.
Yeah,
So
one-off experiences, and you've just got to take it.
I was silly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's a great thing when you got an opportunity to take it.
Yeah.
Even though, which is kind of cool.
Mm.
We're going to get to a quick song.
Take a song, mate.
Take a song.
Whatever you got to do.
Well,
it's your show.
Well, we're going to go to a song. We've been mentioning this guy all night, Jack Pentazis. So why not play one of his tracks?
Cool.
And you know what? It'd be good if I actually set that up, wouldn't it? What did I do with it?
I don't know. But I'm just getting back to Eugene here.
Shocking. Yeah, you go to Eugene.
Because he said that it sounds like Dave Matthews Band. But going back to a band that I mentioned before, Xavier and the Hum, and that's with Steve Rando, Paul Van Ross, who I'm sure he's still on. Man, we had this band cooking. It was such a great band. But circumstances being what they are. I mean, Xavier's gone on to have a very successful career himself, but that band was one of the best bands I ever played in. So, yeah, those guys are great.
Good talking, mate.
Johnny Salerno's on board. Johnny!
Hey, Johnny, how are you?
I always, whenever I see Johnny, I go, mate, how's your dad? Because, see, Sam and I played in many different bands together.
Yeah.
With Dave Rosa as well on bass.
Okay.
And we had just such a great time. Looks like my daughter's on board.
Ah.
Hey Georgia, how are you, darling?
Hello.
So let's get back to. If we get back to, Georgia and I had a conversation over summer, and she kind of, triggered the whole, I think it's time to give it a rest. Type.
Oh, we're going to get back to that when you get back.
Yeah. So she talked a lot of sense, spoke a lot of sense, I should say.
How old is she?
She's 13.
Oh,
13.
Yes. She's
such a well-behaved little girl. I can't speak highly enough of how much she listens to me, and
of course she does. Yeah, everything you tell
I wish.
All right, this is Jack Pentazis. It's called Hut Song, and then we'll come back on Drum Talk Radio with myself and good-looking fella next to me, Mr. Enzo. All right, and you're welcome back to Drum Talk Radio, and with the lovely Enzo Failla, who's killing me with the great stories he's been having, and not only that, you know, having coffees with Steve Gadd and just hanging out and all that kind of stuff. Now,
That's what you do.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, I should give you the host. Hey, you're a free man now. You want to host a radio show on a
Sure.
Monday night? You're free
Absolutely.
every Monday night. But look, we've spoken about, like, you know, you want to spend time with the family, chill out a little bit, you know, enjoy, but you're still playing drums, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Enzo Failla going now in the drum world?
So the first thing I have to do is soundproof my room. Because I'll continue to play. I'll continue to practice. one of the things I do want to do is get back to a bit of teaching. So,
Did you ever teach?
I taught for a short period of time, but time just didn't really work.
Fair enough. You had your hands full.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I want to do is, like soundproof the room, get that done properly, get some teaching maybe, and just continue to play. And then if the odd gig comes along, and I feel like doing it, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll continue watching, the Tigers, win premierships.
Oh, my Lord. You're a Tiger fan.
You know what I mean?
You're a Richmond man, aren't you? I'm not going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, so I'll
you win one
continue to
grand
play.
final in 58 years, and that's it.
Mate, I'll take it. I'll
longer?
talk about it for the next 12 months. Don't worry about that.
Katrina Failla, is that your sister?
Yep, that's my sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Andrew wants to know when he's getting paid for the night he was your roadie. He can't send you a message, so he's using his phone as a dinosaur.
Andrew, see, my brother's a very, let's say, unique individual.
Unique.
I'll just put it out there.
Is he older or younger?
He's younger.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people say he looks older. No. This one particular night, Andrew decided he's going to be a roadie. So I'm doing a fill-in gig.
Big mistake.
The band was Passion Fruit Pulp. It was out the Vault out in Werribee.
Right.
And Andrew, I saw him in the crowd. Then I saw him partying in the crowd, and then I didn't see him for the rest of the night. So I go, okay, well, that's not my concern. My concern is packing down and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So we packed down. I'll get to my car, and he's asleep in my car with the keys, and he's drunk.
Oh, really?
So, Andrew, you're never getting paid for that.
No. Sorry, mate.
It took me about 10 minutes to wake him up
You
eventually.
You missed that quota, mate.
Oh.
You missed that quota.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I must admit, my older brother was kind of my roadie because I was playing and I wasn't driving. And my dad goes, "Oh, you got to take your brother to the gig," and he's like, "Oh,"
Yep.
And because I was a short ass, I could never carry the
traps.
The traps case, yeah. Jeez, it went. And I played Sona, man. Back those days, that was the big. And he used to OD on me all the time. You owe me, I admittedly, no, I did. I think wash his car a few times. Yeah, that was the trade-off, I guess. But it's lovely to have the brothers around.
Yeah. Look, they've been through it all with me. I mean, my mum, is a dressmaker, so she would sit in the garage with industrial strength earmuffs on while I'm playing. While I'm practicing, and she wouldn't bat an eyelid. She'd just go about her business, and
Yeah.
So there.
I know our mother's put up a bit. I know my mum. I sent her around to bed. I always said I didn't have a studio or anything. I just had a bedroom. There was 2 beds in there, just my drum kit. So I used to invite my friends over to be at the jam. And if it was raining, because the veranda outside didn't have a roof, so I set them all up in the lounge room.
Yep.
My mum's cooking, whatever, and we're just. We thought, great. It was sounding great. I wish I had a tape of it,
Absolutely.
But never once said Tommy, to be quiet or anything.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah, a little bit different today. Now my wife tells me to shut up.
Yeah, well.
Shut up. Too loud.
Yeah. And you do as you're told, right?
Not really. I just make it louder. No, hence why I've got a soundproof studio, mate. So, I call this the code of silence.
Yeah.
And then my wife used to come in because I'll be calling us a soundproof room, sweetheart. Use that one when you build your room, mate. It works, believe me. I couldn't hear you. It's soundproof. Jesus, it works well.
That's right.
It works really well. So, so for the future there, so, it's like, you can obviously do a few gigs and still play and stuff.
Yeah, if they come up, and if I want to do them, and I like the people.
Yeah, that's the nice. That's the nicest feeling is when you can pick and choose, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I've been very lucky though.
If you call Enzo and he says no, it actually means he doesn't. He doesn't like you. And I'm just letting you know now. Yeah,
it's forever.
It's very nice. And if he says no, I'm booked. It's bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
You cross paths somewhere.
That's right.
I don't guess someone should give us a call. Actually, you're talking about your daughter.
Yeah.
Giving you some.
So we had a conversation about about things, and look, it does it did open my eyes to and my ears to a few things, because we're let's say we're providers and we want to do what we can for our families,
Of course we
provide,
do. Yes.
get ahead in life, whatever. But sometimes you do have to get a bit of a reality check, and that was mine over summer, because there we go.
Oh,
no!
Headphones.
Oh, it's the big Malacca.
Hello, Mr. Jerry.
Hey!
Gentlemen, and I use that phrase ever so loosely.
Yeah, very loosely, mate. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm just really enjoying listening to you cats have a bit of a rave.
Oh, cool, man.
And Enzo, you're doing great.
Thanks, man. This is my live audition again.
That's it. You're sounding fantastic. Look, I'm just ringing just to testify or to consolidate what Enzo was talking about Yamaha and his time there. And they were the best years. That when I was involved with Yamaha, he was the cat behind getting the Yamaha brand up and running. And I think a lot of guys are indebted to him during the time he was there. So I'm just ringing up to let everyone know how great of a job you did.
Mate.
Your time at Yamaha. So
yeah.
Thanks, Jez.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I expect the $50 in the mail.
Mate,
tomorrow.
I've already transferred it.
Yeah. What was your number again? He'll just transfer it.
He doesn't matter. He's got my number, man.
I appreciate that, Jerry.
But yeah, man, Enz did a lot of great things for the product, and
He did.
and also for me too. He helped me out at a time when I was looking to purchase some new drums, and you really helped me out that time. And I still got my Maple Custom Absolute as we speak. So. And a whole bunch of other stuff which Enz helped me out with, so which is excellent.
Didn't Enzo used to put the blue Smarties separate with the red Smarties for you and back in the green room?
Yeah, no, no, not quite.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure which one that one was.
It was tzatziki away from the kebab.
Actually, Jerry.
That's right, man.
Actually, Jerry.
All right, hang on. While Jerry's on the phone, you go.
Yeah.
You go.
I was going to talk about. 2 seconds.
We've got a tour story that I'll talk about.
Oh, okay, a tour story. But Jerry, how did you feel when Enzo called you and go, guys, come down for Steve Gadd, we're going to have coffee?
Yeah, that was pretty much right. He did hear the car take off in the background. That was an amazing day. That was.
It was definitely, mate.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But I mean, Enzo was the go-to guy. And all the local, when the international cats would rock up, he was the guy, and he looked after them when prior to that there was nobody at Yamaha to do that.
But not only that, sorry, Jerry, but I'm always interrupting. But not only that, Enzo, and I remember him back with Yamaha, always had a smile and nothing was a hassle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the role that goes along with that job, It's like to accommodate the artist and make sure that they don't have anything to worry about.
Exactly.
Gear-wise. And he'll go above and beyond all the time, man. All the time.
I agree.
Nothing was never a hassle.
He should write down a book on that for the new artist relations.
No. Jamie's doing a great job there.
Yes, he is. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And there was a period there, because when Enzo left, I kind of had to endure. There was about 3 or 4 other cats that came along that I think before Jamie. So it was a tough sort of position to fill.
Yeah.
Because Enzo had done such a great job.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. But I've got a tour story, because I took Jerry on tour to Tassie, and you'll remember this. We went from Lonnie to Hobart and listened to Joe's Garage.
That's
all
right.
the way.
Yep.
And we were just.
I brought the CD along.
Oh man, it was just Joe's Garage references through the whole week.
Tour,
it was so funny.
Yeah, and that was I think we were launching the Oak Custom. If I remember.
Yeah. We went and we did the small. Actually, when we got to Lonnie, I think it was the uni down there.
The Newstead College.
Yeah, Newstead College. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I've got that on tape somewhere. I got that disc recording of that day.
Ah, cool. And we went and I took Jerry to Adelaide as well. We did some gigs on the same tour. That was between and I took Robbie over to Warrnambool and we did some different things. So yeah.
Nice.
And I think he
was
used Gordo for some stuff as well.
He's Gordon Rittmeister.
Gordon,
you know,
Yeah.
Oh man, we had a lot of fun over those 3 years.
Yeah.
that's for
They
sure.
were the days, though.
But it was just a great opportunity that was offered
It
to
is,
us,
yeah.
Pino, that Ends, saw the value in pushing the product that way by getting players to play the product.
Yeah.
And the product spoke for itself. We didn't have to say anything about it. All we had to do was just play it, you know.
They were great kids.
They were great kids. So,
But it also brought me back to when we talk about how I started and whatever, and what inspired, my generation of players was going to drum stores and all those in-store clinics. I remember seeing Peter Blick in clinic, and Jerry's got a longer association with Peter than what I have, and I distinctly, and if Johnny's still on here, he'll probably testify to this as well. And Johnny and Sam used to take Johnny to all the clinics. We always used to see each other. The same guys used to go to all the clinics, right? And that's how we got to know each other.
Yeah.
And and someone threw out a question to Blicky, and he goes, "Oh, what about this? Less is more sort of thing." And Blicky goes, "No, bullshit. More is more." I like this guy.
it's kind of right.
That's kind of right, isn't it?
But that's what inspired me to go to the drum stores to see the gear and see the good gear, not just the cheap stuff that they want to push through. That's always going to be on the floor. But I wanted to see that when the Maple Custom came out, that turquoise Maple Custom with the gold lugs.
I remember it. Yeah.
Mate, you want to aspire to one day be able to buy that, and that's the kind of thinking that I took into that role, is to make Yamaha the product that people want to go and see in a store, So yeah. But I appreciate the call, Jerry.
Yeah, you're mate. Most welcome, Enz, and great to hear your dulcet tones on the wireless.
Well, I'm putting on my best radio voice for you, man.
It's great.
He was
man.
practicing before.
I
Jerry.
was.
He was like, "How's this?"
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was.
It was
Bit of a character.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry.
That's great.
Signori.
When are we going to get you back?
Signori.
Signori. When are we going to get you back on the show, mate?
Which show? Your show?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Will's organising something with my bro, so
Yeah.
I think we might be coming in for the guitar show, maybe.
Of course, I know. Everybody's going to the guitar show now. It's okay.
I know,
It's
even
all
drummers, man.
right. I know. You're all going over there. Everyone's
You
turning
got a
over.
problem.
I think Enzo's on that show next Wednesday night. I don't know.
Yeah,
Why
true,
not?
mate. Yeah.
I know
Well,
guitarists.
Well, you started out playing guitar, so you should go on the show.
He mentioned that one. Yeah, he sure did.
Anyway, guys,
Thanks,
I'm
Jerry.
going to let you go a bit of split, so enjoy the rest of the evening.
No
That's
worries,
all right.
mate.
Thanks,
for the
mate.
call.
Thank
All
you.
right, see you guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I'm getting a flick soon, mate. Soon it'll be just the guitar show, and we have all the drummers on there.
Yeah,
So-
why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Thanks, Will. We'll talk about that on the next general meeting.
Yeah.
No, it'd be fantastic to have the two brothers in.
Yeah, just talent. I mean,
I might have to mic
amazing.
up the kids
Amazing.
and get it all set and make sure it's all ready for Jerry.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
kind of cool. It's that time of the night.
Are we done?
It's been fantastic, man. It's
No, I think people are. What's
How
that,
fast?
James? What's James?
Oh, James
the
Vincent.
Peninsula. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
For sure. What's he done there?
And they've put their come down to the peninsula, Enzo. I'll line some gigs up for you with himself and Eugene.
Sure.
Plus, I'll master your songs in the Master Lux mastering studio
Yep.
with some warm fat tube EQs
He's the man.
and
He'll
tape compressions.
Yeah. All right. Call me.
Your snares will love it, he reckons. So give him a call.
Call me, James. Call me. Just call me. I'm there.
Just call,
Peninsula,
just call.
I'm there.
Yeah. 555. Enzo, once again, thanks for coming in. It's been a long time, and you're always welcome. You're always welcome to the show, mate. Anytime. I know you're a little bit more free now, which is cool, mate. Just hit me up, and Pete, I'm free. I'd love to come down and have a chat because I'm sure we've got more stories.
Oh, for
So,
sure. For
I
sure.
really appreciate
No,
it.
look, I appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk
it's-
drums. It's
yeah,
something that we love doing.
It
And,
is. We can do it all night. We can
yeah.
do it all night, couldn't we? It's, pretty much. But enjoy your moment, your family time, and that's that's something to cherish, and you enjoy every moment of it, mate.
Absolutely.
And,
Yep.
and thank you for what you've been doing so far in the industry,
No
especially
worries.
with Yamaha and all that stuff. It's been fantastic.
Cool.
All right, guys. Next What do we got? Tomorrow night we actually got On the Mic, hosted by Liz Tripodi and the lovely Ash. They'll be in here. It's our first night with the Vocal Live thing from the Vocal Art Studios, and we're looking forward to it. A little bit excited about it. I've been setting up the studio, and we're trying to get a few things ready. So tune in at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, we've got Mr. Rob Little in the house. And Rob's doing an interview on Guitar Talk with Will Music, and that's at 8 o'clock on Monday night. So that's what's going to happen every week now, guys. And I there goes my social life.
Yeah, well,
you're trying to cut back. I'm just picking it up as we go. Once again, thanks to everyone.
Briefcase. Sorry, Eugene. Briefcase Full of Blues. It was a Blues Brothers cover band that we started off.
Yeah.
It was a stage show called Jake Lives. Then we took all the players and said, you know what, guys, let's make this into a corporate thing, and we did, and it was awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Blues Brother thing, yeah?
Yeah, it was called Briefcase Full of Blues.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice. Once again, thank you. I'll see you guys next Monday night at 8 o'clock.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
It's Drum Talk. You're listening to Drum Talk. Drum Talk.
Drum Talk.
Proudly sponsored by Drum Scene Magazine.